you need to be true with yourself. In some point, this is gonna end, and I have other things to do. That's the best thing, right? I have other things to do, and but I'm gonna enjoy the last 2 3 years, 4. I'm being here in boxing, and then we'll see.
But they do make weight classes for a reason. Canelo is still very strong. He's a good body puncher, and he's a bigger guy naturally. So that does bring a bit of a risk to the table.
Y'all act like, oh, he ain't got no power. If he don't knock out Bud, he's gonna lose. What makes you say that? Well, he's been winning by decision without knocking out people. He's had the higher fight IQ than everybody he's fought.
Canelo Alvarez shocked fans with a candid admission that if he loses to Terence Crawford, he may walk away from boxing. He explained that every career has an ending, and he is already preparing himself for that reality. Canelo revealed that he wants to enjoy his final years inside the ring, but at the same time, he's planning to focus on family and personal goals once his fighting career reaches its conclusion.
Retirement on anyone or speak about retirement when they're not ready. But has retirement ever crossed your mind? Have you ever thought about that?
I always say like 37 is good time to go. It's not because I can't be in the boxing anymore, but sometimes you need to do something else. So I'm being in October I turned 20 years as a professional fighter. So it's meant
a
lot of years. So, but we'll see.
You're the face of boxing, and you've been professional for 20 years. Does the fear of kind of walking away ever weigh on you? Because boxing is so your identity. Yeah. Does the thought of walking away and losing that part of yourself make you want to stay in the game for longer?
No, I think boxing give me so much, and you need to be true with yourself. In some point, this is gonna end, and I have other things to do. That's the best thing, right? I have other things to do, but I'm gonna enjoy the last 2 3 years, 4. I'm being here in boxing, and then we'll see.
Alvarez has openly hinted that the showdown with Crawford could mark the closing chapter of his legendary career. In several interviews, he has dropped subtle clues that his time in the sport may be nearing its end. This sense of closure isn't surprising, as Canelo has fought at the highest level for years, collecting world titles across multiple divisions and defeating some of the toughest names of his era. The possibility of retirement adds another layer of significance to this matchup, with fans now viewing it not only as a blockbuster fight, but potentially as Canelo's final stand inside the ring.
Boxing Doctor News, hold on to your gloves. Fight fans, Canelo Alvarez is gearing up for a blockbuster bout against Terence Crawford this September. The undisputed super middleweight champ is making history as the first ever 2-time undisputed king at 168. But here's the real knockout. Canelo's hinting at hanging up his gloves soon. He's giving himself just 3 more years in the ring, aiming to retire at 37. Why? Because he wants to leave on his own terms, not when boxing tells him to. And get this, he's not doing it for money or legacy. It's all about the love of the sport. But before he calls it quits, we might see him face off against David Benavidez or even Jake Paul. Who do you think Canelo should fight next? Drop your predictions in the comments.
Canelo has admitted that he is strongly considering retiring from boxing by the end of the year. He explained that he has already accomplished everything he set out to achieve, from becoming a multi-division champion to establishing himself as one of the greatest fighters of his generation. With his legacy secure, Canelo has expressed a desire to devote more time to his family and personal happiness. His statement has fueled speculation that, regardless of the result against Crawford, his days as an active fighter may already be numbered.
Well, it looks like it's the end of an era. Canelo Alvarez spoke about his retirement plans and has confirmed that the end is near and that his time inside the ring is coming to an end relatively soon. Canelo Alvarez said that he is now in a stage wherein he's also thinking a lot about how he wants to focus as well as enjoy the fruits of his labor, not just for himself but for his family as well. The Mexican fighter who made his professional boxing debut at the age of 15 years old and has been professionally fighting for almost 20 years now said the following: and I quote, "From the age of 28 to 29, this is the age where I have felt best. I've always said that at 37 years old is a good age to enjoy what I have done with my family, other things in my career, and that's what I say. But I said I would debut at 18 and I did it at 15. End of quote.
During a lively debate, Simon Jordan, Paulie Malignaggi, and Roy Jones Jr. praised Canelo as a dominant force in his natural weight class. They highlighted his power, experience, and size as qualities that make him a legend at super middleweight, where he has ruled supreme. The panel discussed how the difference in natural weight could prove decisive against Crawford, who is moving up to face him. While Crawford's adaptability and technical brilliance were acknowledged, the consensus was clear. Canelo's strength and durability create an enormous challenge for any fighter stepping into his division.
It's interesting because I think that the only dynamic that makes this fight competitive, in my opinion, is the difference in weight class. I think Canelo has been, for a while, a diminishing fighter. Call it age, call it whatever other things you want to call it. But I just think that, the only reason he's even still around at this level is because he's avoided his top contenders in his weight class, so he's been able to still remain champion at that weight class. And now, being champion at that weight class, it has sort of brought up this big opportunity to fight a smaller, excellent world champion in Terence Crawford. But I think when it comes to the levels of boxing, just straight from boxing perspective, I think Crawford is head and shoulders above Canelo. But, they do make weight classes for a reason. Canelo is still very strong. He's a good body puncher, and he's a bigger guy naturally. So that does bring a bit of a risk to the table. I think Crawford can win the fight. I just wonder whether he can get a decision. That's always the question with Canelo, right? Can Canelo get a decision? I mean, can Crawford get a decision over Canelo? Can anybody get a decision over Canelo? We know Bebo did, but Bebo essentially won a 10-2, 11-1 fight, and they barely gave it to him.
Yeah,
maybe
good point.
7-5.
You're spent.
So that's
Paulie, there's a lot made of, jumping up 2 weight divisions. We saw Sugar Ray Leonard do it against Marvin Hagler, and the greats can actually do that, can't they? And when you see them head to head, actually, Terence Crawford, he's filled out very, very well. And you're right, if it comes down to just weight division, because I think that Terence Crawford is head and shoulders above, as does Simon as well when it comes to boxing IQ and ring craft. But I go, when you look at it, and we're all talking about the weight division, that could be the factor. I don't see it being a factor.
Many boxing analysts have questioned the reasoning behind picking Crawford to defeat Alvarez. They argue that much of this belief comes from Canelo's past loss to Floyd Mayweather, a fight that took place when Canelo was still young and far from his prime. Experts stress that this single defeat is often misinterpreted by fans who use it to diminish Canelo's greatness. In reality, losing to Mayweather is no stain on a fighter's career. Mayweather retired undefeated at 50-0 and is widely regarded as the greatest defensive boxer of all time. Facing such a master so early in his career gave Canelo valuable lessons that shaped him into the fighter he is today. Since then, Alvarez has transformed dramatically, refining his defense, sharpening his counterpunching, and evolving into a more complete and dangerous competitor. Analysts emphasize that underestimating Canelo because of his loss to Mayweather is misguided. Instead, that fight highlights his growth and resilience, proving why he remains one of boxing's most complete champions.
Where the fuck did all of this Bud hype come from? Where every video I'm watching on this internet, everybody is saying that Bud is going to smoke Canelo. Look, I get it. When he was saying, I'm going to stomp a mud hole, when he's like, told Canelo, I'm going to stomp a mud hole in your ass. What? Bud ain't stomping shit. He ain't stomping a mud hole in shit. He may think he's going to do it. It's okay that he thinks that. It's okay that that is his intentions. But everybody online is believing this shit. Like you forgot, like Canelo's a fucking punk. And let me tell you something. Can we be honest here? Canelo was one of the most gangster motherfuckers in boxing, bro. Bro, this is the same Canelo who had a fight and was in negotiation with some motherfucking gangsters that kidnapped his brothers at the time. And then went in there and beat the guy with your negotiation ransoms to get your brother released from some motherfucking mobsters. Y'all ain't learned. Like I said, like when Caleb Plant, he's used to smacking people and getting away with it and punking people. You see what happened when he tried to do that shit to Canelo, right? I bet you Bud won't do that to Canelo. You see when he tried to punk Canelo, you saw what Canelo did, right? When he tried to step Canelo and try to walk Canelo backwards. You see who put hands on who? Get the fuck out of here. Y'all act like Canelo's some kind of pussy who's going to get stomped on. And y'all think that y'all forget. Let's play Roy Jones' You Must Have Forgot song. Like, y'all forgetting all the titles that Canelo has won. You forgetting all the divisions he has moved up on. And motherfuckers not being knocked down by none of these way bigger guys.
Timothy Bradley Jr. has faced pushback for boldly predicting that Terence Crawford will not only beat, but dominate Canelo Alvarez. Critics argue that Bradley's claim overlooks the physical realities of the matchup. Canelo has gone toe-to-toe with Gennady Golovkin 3 times, proving his toughness and resilience against one of the sport's hardest punchers. Crawford, by contrast, has never competed at this weight before, and the leap in size and power could be overwhelming. Detractors of Bradley's view insist that these factors cannot be ignored. Size and experience at higher weight classes remain critical elements that heavily influence outcomes.
By the way, I'm redoing an apartment, had a move out, and that's why it's so hollow. My voice is so hollow. But here's the reality. Terence Crawford is so... First of all, you're comparing Terence Crawford, dog in the fight, as big as the dog, whatever Mark Twain said, right? To a movie. You're comparing it to landing on the moon. We've never landed on the moon, man. If we've landed... The one thing I know about men, if it feels good, we do it twice. If it feels great, we do it for a lifetime, right? You got 5 kids, right? I'm gonna just leave it there, right, Mr. Bradley? But the reality is, Crawford is too small. Crawford is too arrogant. Crawford doesn't have an intelligent ego, and that's gonna be his downfall. Yeah, Crawford's probably gonna look better. Canelo's gonna throw wide the first 4 rounds. Yeah, he gonna get hit with a stiff jab every now and again, and people gonna get excited. But the reality is, when you go back, because you referenced Golovkin, when you go back and reference Golovkin, right? That was one of the cleanest, hardest shots of that year. And Canelo just brushed it off. And here's the biggest difference between Floyd and he's the most skilled. Floyd feinted for you to throw and miss. Crawford feints to land a punch. So what does that mean, Timothy Bradley? So you're not telling the whole details. When a person feints to punch, that means their feet are planted. So what does that lead to? You got 2 flat-footed fighters standing in front of each other. And once Canelo figures that out, see, what y'all not understanding is, Crawford got to land 100 punches. Canelo only got to land 20.